Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So before we begin, I just want to give a quick shout out to Simply Britty. Hey girl, thank you so much for commenting. You were the first to comment on my last video, and I just want to say thank you for all of your support. So I have a quick unboxing from the brand Oohoohoo. I've done an unboxing with them before, and I do really love their products. So in this kit, you get the regular polygel brush. You also get a regular emery board. You get a cuticle pusher, which is really nice, and then you get slip solution. The packaging for the solution is different, and I really love it. It makes it so much easier than their other ones. But you also get dual forms and a top and base coat. I have to be honest, their top and base coat is very thick, so be careful with them. And then you get a set of 4 chunky glitters. And the blue doesn't look chunky in this clip, but they're all chunky glitters, so they're all different shapes and sizes, which I love. I prefer chunky glitter over, the little ones. And then it also comes with 6 polygel colors. Oh, actually, yeah, it comes with 6. So here are the shades, and drum roll please. They're actually doing a giveaway. So the rules for the giveaway is super simple. I'll have the rules up on the screen, but all you have to do is be following Oohoohoo Beauty on Instagram, and also follow my Instagram. You have to be subscribed to Oohoohoo Beauty, and I'll leave all this on the screen and in the description box below. And below, leave a comment of where you are at, and also leave your Instagram handle and your email address as well, just in case, just for backup, just in case, because you never know what happens with IG. You might not see my DM or something. So like I said, I'm going to leave all the rules on the screen, and best of luck to the winner. I also want to say thank you so much to Oohoohoo for sending me these products to review and for hosting this giveaway. So today will be another storytime and nail video. I love these. I love telling your stories. So I am telling another one of my subscribers' stories. If you're new here, I do a story time while I tell my nails. And if you have any stories that you want me to tell, you can send me an email at, well, actually all the information will be down below in the description box. My email address and my Instagram handle. So if you want to DM it to me on there, you can. But today is going to kind of be a follow-up of the story time from my first subscriber that I told. And it flows better if I tell this story first rather than telling my other subscribers. But don't worry, I saw your emails. I like doing them as like first impressions, but let's get right into this story time. Hello everyone, I just wanted to express my gratitude to everyone with your kind words of sympathy for what has transpired in my life. Your sweet comments have felt like a warm hug, so thank you for that. Also, if it's okay, I would like my alias to be Jasmine Grace or Grace, so you don't get confused with other stories told on this channel. And because it is truly by the grace of God that I am still alive and able to tell these stories. Now, a little disclaimer, I've not told this story in years and have only told it to a handful at the time due to how personal it is. So please keep that in mind. This is the story of what immediately transpired after my immediate exit from the private school. Okay, so just to back up, basically what happened in the last story time is Jasmine Grace got kicked out of her private school. It was probably like a Catholic school, Christian school, because of her friend. And she basically lied on her. It was a sad story. And if you guys haven't listened to that story time, I'm going to leave a link above and you can check that out. But basically, she got kicked out of her Christian private school because a girl lied on her. As I stated in the previous episode, my parents were divorced and hated one another. My father remarried and adopted his new wife's kids as his own and didn't care about my brother or me anymore, especially given what had just happened in my life. I was considered a disgrace all around, shunned from everyone. My mother and brother, whom I temporarily lived with, would barely talk to me. I had no one. No friends or family, so I think that's why I felt desperate for attention and did things I did next. Disclaimer, please no harsh judgment. I am still regretful of this decision to this day as it was used in my abuse. I've had to receive a lot of therapy due to these events that happened in my life. I started taking nude photos of myself and sending it to boys for attention. Just to have someone else to communicate with in general was essential to my mental status, and I felt keeping me alive at the time. I understand that, I really do. When you're that young, that was like the way that you got attention. So I completely get that. I was locked in my room from sun up to sundown with no communication from them. I don't know if it was a form of punishment or if they just despised me that much. So I was desperate to talk to another human being, even at the expense of my body. Girl, don't feel embarrassed. Just a quick, don't feel embarrassed. I feel like everybody in their life has sent nigga nasty, so I felt I had to do something drastic because I had tried to talk to other kids my age with online chats, etc., but it was always a very casual conversation, just being polite, like, how are you, have a nice day, etc. No one took a lot of interest. So I found some boys that took an interest and would talk to me and was giving me the attention I was craving from my family. This led to sneaking outside the house at night to go to parties and starting to experiment with pot and drinking and even sex. I stated in the other video how inexperienced and pure I was. I was a good kid. I had high grades and morals for myself. I had planned to save myself for marriage. But after all that transpired with school and my family abandoning me, I figured I'll do exactly what I'm already accused of. How old were you? Hopefully we'll get to that, but I want to know, how old were you? Plus, I was incredibly depressed. One night at a party, I was tired of being asked to take my V card all the time, so I said, fine, just take it. He did just that in a room full of... No. He did just that in a room full of people. I didn't care anymore. I was so incredibly numb. I already felt dead. Wow. That hurt me. My father and mother had an agreement where she had full custody and he got us like 1 weekend out of the month if he wanted it. But most of the time he passed on the opportunity because he was incredibly obsessed with his wife, who despised me, by the way, for whatever reason. She was so rude to me. She would belittle me in front of the other kids and always make me feel inadequate. She would make me scrub floors, do yard work, paint, etc., while her kids watched movie. Well, one day, while I was over there, I logged into my email where I had all my private news, etc., and I always made sure I logged out so no one could see what I've done. Well, she found a way to hack my account and see those pics. No, she didn't. She showed them to my father. Oh my gosh. He told me how horrible I was for doing such a thing, and again, what a disgrace I am. He said they wanted to send me to a nut house because something is really wrong with me. Oh my gosh. My mother said basically the same and even proposed the idea of sending me to juvenile hall, which is a place bad kids go. She made sure to say that part. They both agreed that I'm too wild and too much trouble to be messed with and that they cannot help me. So that's when okay, quick interruption. This is just like a spiral for real. Like, it's crazy because at first she literally didn't do what her parents thought she did to get her kicked out of the private school. So then like she does do it and now it's like double whammy. Like, oh, this is just verification. So that's terrible. But back to the story. So that's when they both decided to relinquish custody of me and put me into my aunt and uncle's care. What happened next is truly shocking and why I still to this day feel I was abused. My father and stepmother sent the nude pics of myself to my aunt and uncle's email. No freaking way. You guys really have to listen to the other story time to understand why that is such a huge detail. They at first were shocked, or at least acted like they were, but reassured me I am in a safe place and wouldn't be going to a nut house, and that they would care for me. It's so crazy that they thought you were crazy for that, because do you know how many girls were doing that? And I like, that was so normal. That was so normal. That's what kids do. My uncle would later tell me how he stays up late at night looking at them, etc. I was shocked and felt trapped. I didn't know what to do or say to that. The next thing you know, when my aunt left for work one morning, he came in my room and abused me. He did not the R word, guys. He didn't do that to her. However, he did. Trigger warning for anybody that's triggered by sexual assault. I'm about to get into it. Not too much, I don't think, but just a trigger warning. However, he did sexual assault me several times, and I went through severe mental and emotional abuse for the next few years. I hated my mother and father so much for what they did and putting me in this situation. I still resent them for it till this day. I tried talking to them about it years later to get closure, but my father says, Jasmine Grace, we are not going to talk about this shit anymore. Do not bring this up again. It's not our fault you were abused. You have to take responsibility. You are the one that didn't fight him off, and you are the one who didn't call the police or tell us what happened. My abuser knew he had it made because I had literally nowhere else to go. He even told me several times to not even think about telling anyone because no one will ever believe me, given what just happened with school and the fact that my mother and father want nothing to do with me, which was true. That's so crazy. It's so crazy. He literally had... And you know, the people who do this type of stuff to you are always the ones that are the closest to you, which is so sad, but... So I lived there for years until I was 18 and could escape and take care of myself, which is exactly what I did. I don't allow myself to think about this dark time often, and I am not a conspiracy theorist by any means, but when I do think about it, it's hard not to think that my family knew exactly what fate would follow me, and these pics were like a form of payment for getting rid of me. Because, as I said, neither parent wanted me as their responsibility any longer. They dropped me off, and it was years before they made contact with me again. You guys tell me what you think. She wants our feedback, and so I'm going to give you my feedback about your parents, bro. Let me tell you, nah, no way, absolutely not. They're not even your parents, to be honest. These people are strangers to you. They don't care about you. Why did they have kids? Like, unloving, heartless, cold. Literally just cold. Like, and I could get into it because I'm a Christian, right? But you meet some Christians and they just, it's like they don't care. If you're not following X, Y, and Z, they judge you. And they make all these notions about you and have all these words to say. But that's not the Christianly thing to do, which is exactly how I feel. And I could be wrong, but that's kind of how I feel your parents are. They must be devout Christians, but let's flip the role, because what they did to you is not Christianly either. Abandoning their daughter, not speaking up when somebody told you they've been abused, not listening. You know the 10 Commandments, thou shalt not lie. Why would I lie? That's the type of stuff that make people never want to talk to their parents again. Like, it really do. I think you're a strong person for even trying to have that conversation with them again in the future. And the fact that you were older, years older, and they still shot you down, that's the type of relationship where at that point it's just like a hi, bye. I think you said you had kids, like, okay, you can see the kids if you want, blah, 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 but there's no emotional, y'all not my parents, y'all not my support system, we just strangers, like, that happen to be related by blood. And that's that. Just because you're blood and just because somebody birthed you don't mean that they gotta love you, and that don't mean you owe them anything, because you don't. And your uncle, straight to hell, burning straight in hell. Sorry, they're actually not even sorry. It's a special spot. It's a special place in hell for people like your uncle. It really is, because that's disgusting. You were a minor. You weren't even 18 yet. Not that being 18 make it even better or anything, but the fact that you was a kid is so sick to me. How do people like touching kids? Like, you can't get a prostitute. You could easily go find a prostitute if you need to get off and your aunt or whoever's not helping. You could easily find that. Why do you want to touch a kid? Why do you want to touch any person, any age, without consent? It just don't make sense to me. It really don't. And I'm so sorry that you had to go through this. If you made it to the end, leave in the comments what you think about this story. Any words of advice, words of kindness. And also really quickly, I just want to say again, if you have a story that you want me to tell, please be sure to email me or DM me on Instagram, and I'll be sure to tell your story. But yeah, I love you guys so much. Like, I really do. I get excited to get on here and like do these voiceovers and do my videos and stuff because I just love talking to you guys. But all right, y'all, I will see you on Monday. Bye.